Hi, welcome to another edition of Conversations with the Clergy. Today I'm speaking with Lisa Altringer, who heads up one of our outreach ministries to Central Iowa Shelter and Services, kind of CISS for short. What is that? Tell us about Central Iowa Shelter and Services.
Sure. Yeah, so Central Iowa Shelter and Services has been actually in downtown Des Moines since 1992. You might have heard them called Churches United before they changed their name. They've been providing shelter, meals, and services to homeless men and women in our community. And their primary goal is to help those men and women reach self-sufficiency. Just to give you a context, over the last year, they had 2,000 men and women come through that shelter. And they provide, like I said, many opportunities for on-the-job training programs. And one of the things that's really cool, if you didn't know this, is they have a greenhouse that's actually on their property there, that they grow produce and have clients there help provide that to the community, as well as they have studio apartments for veterans as well.
Where is this located?
Yeah, it's down on Mulberry Street. So if you're familiar with Exile Brewing, it's adjacent to that, as well as right across the street from DeMark Food Pantry.
What is our involvement with it? Now, we probably don't run the greenhouse or take care of the housing. So what is our involvement with CISS? What would some of St. Francis do?
Sure, yeah. St. Francis has actually been involved with Central Iowa Shelter for 20 years now, actually. Providing evening meal support. So we provide the evening meal on the 9th and 10th of every month. And we have volunteers at St. Francis who sign up to make casseroles and provide the food donations. We also support them through recent things such as the coat drive or the Advent Angel Trees, providing some basic necessities to them. So that's our involvement there.
So we've been here almost 20 years with them. Very
Yes.
good. How long have you been involved?
I've been in this ministry for 10 years and doing Central Iowa Shelter Services solely.
Okay. How has it blessed your life and the life of our volunteers?
Sure. So for starters, I would say, you think about our faith and, this is at the core of Jesus's teachings of, feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, and something as basic as, donating cookies. And then when we get down there and we serve the meal, and you see the smile on their face because you brought them that special dessert tonight, and it brings joy to their day. And our volunteers love interacting with the clients when we get down there and serve them.
Well, that's you hit that right. You're very much right. It hits the core of in Matthew's Gospel, 25th chapter of Matthew's Gospel. He tells us to feed the hungry, give drink to the thirsty, clothe the naked. This is when he says, when you did this for a stranger, you welcomed me. You did it for me. So that is very much the core. It's also what we refer to as the corporal works of mercy. So when you perform, you're not just taking food to somebody. You're performing a work of mercy and following Jesus's dictate.
And a real example of that, I mentioned the clothing or the coat drive, right? So my responsibility in that was obviously, thank you to all the parishioners who donated them, but I took them down to the shelter. And actually that day when I dropped off, there was a woman outside the shelter who looked at me and said, are you donating those today? And I said, yes, I am. And she said, oh, thank you so much, because I need a coat today. And so, those moments happen often when our parishioners get down there and see Jesus' face like that. It just, touches your heart that you did something very simple that made a difference.
Wonderful. What are their biggest needs right now? I mean, how different is it today during the pandemic than it was a year ago? And what do they need? What's their biggest need right now?
Sure. Obviously cleaning has taken on a whole new level for them.
Okay.
And the best way for us to support them is actually on their website. They have a list of the top items. And right now, they need warm winter season items, hand warmers, things like that. But also just things for the studio apartments, such as like canned proteins and things like that. They need our continued support of our meal program. We're actually one of the only churches that does two of the evening meals each month. And by us doing that, it helps them buy those cleaning supplies. So it's important that we continue to support them in that way so that they can keep people safe.
How can somebody get involved?
Yeah, sure. You can contact the parish office, email the parish office, and just ask to be added to the Homeless and Hungry Committee distributions letter. You can also, I think, see on Facebook sometimes our sign up link is out there for the meals, and so you can get involved that way.
Anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Oh, sure. I just want to say thank you. 20 years is a long time, but I've been involved this in 10 years, and just say thank you to all of our dedicated volunteers out there. We've got over 200 in our network that do this every month.
Okay, all right. If you've been, especially with Lent coming on now, there's something special I could do for Lent. There's something I can do something beyond Lent. Reaching out to those in need, listening to Jesus' command in the 25th chapter of Matthew's Gospel. I urge you to read, Matthew 25, 31 through 46, and that was his command to feed the hungry and clothe the naked is there. Read that, pray about that. Maybe you'll be inspired to be part of this valuable ministry. So thank you very much, Lisa, for being with us, and thank you very much, and God bless you.